Alright, today I'm going to show you how to sync up the Groovebox here with Garageband. And this should work for just about any sequencer, Electribe, Groovebox, whatever you have. But since the MC-303 is my drug of choice, I'm obviously going to use it to demonstrate. And this is useful because the application Garageband does not have Midi sync capabilities on its own, so we're going to figure out how to force it to Midi sync. What you need to know is you need to download and install the audio unit called Midi-O. And I'll show you some pictures of that here. You search for it on Google, you find Midi-O, and you install that by unzipping the downloaded file, and then you drag the Midi-O.component into the plugins folder, and that's found here. Macintosh HD, library, audio, plugins, components, and then you drag and drop your Midi-O file. That's all set up. You're going to go into GarageBand and take any virtual instrument and change the sound generator to Midi-O. And you're going to configure it to whatever MIDI device you're using. And you're going to turn on MIDI clock because we want this to sync up with clock data. And now we create a new basic effect. And with that all set up, we are good to go. I meant almost. What we need to do is configure the MC-303. I'm going to press Shift, and we're going to press the number 16, and we're going to go over until we see SN1. And I already had it set up, but it's always, by default, on internal. We're going to switch it over here to slave, because now, when I press play and stop, it doesn't listen. It will only listen to external sources, external tempo. This other one, RET for remote, it only responds to play and stop messages, but it keeps its own tempo. We want it to respond to GarageBand's tempo. So now, when I press play on GarageBand, now there's a problem. I press stop on GarageBand, but the MC-303 keeps going. See, it's stuck on that second 16th note. That's because the MC-303 has got issues. So, the only way I know how to solve this is Shift, 16, go back over to sync, and you just turn it to internal or remote or whatever and back to slave. We're good to go, but you see here this little dot here means that it's still in the middle of its loop, so we change it to whatever loop is next to it and go back, and it's reset at 0. So now let's press play right here. Perfectly in sync. Let's speed it up, huh? Slow it down. And there you go, it slows down, speeds up. And I press stop, and it does that annoying thing again. So we go over here, and there you go, it stops. So, not the easiest, but also not the worst. It works. There you go, that's how you do it.